Hello. Hi friends, how we doing? How we doing? Still here despite everything. Still streaming. Hope everyone's having a good day. I know a lot of people aren't right now. And we won't dwell too much on that, obviously. We're here to have fun, we're here to play games. Don't want to like bring down the mood immediately. But it's on my mind, you know? It's on my mind. I want this to be a safe place for everybody. I want this to be a place everyone can come and forget about the stuff that's troubling them about the world right now. But I don't want you to feel like this is a place where people don't care, you know? Just putting that out there at the start of the stream. That's the energy I want to bring today. I want to bring more energy than that. I want to bring positivity and fun. But yeah, like distracting ourselves a little is kind of the point here. So, Solar Flare, I would encourage you to read the news. But today's Wordle, my partner got that in 3, and also got the Spanish wordle in one because that was the word they always start with, so it was pretty funny. Yeah, this is here to be a positive distraction for everybody, to allow you to zone out and not think about things for a while. But I don't want you to think I don't care. I don't want you to think we're not talking about it because there's, you know, an apathy here. There is not. Trust me, there is not. All I'm doing right now is trusting that the people in charge will do the right thing. That's really it. Black Beanie, thank you for the 6 months. Tinker Crocs, thank you for the 6 months as well. So we're not talking about the news. I would honestly prefer not to, because online chat can often come from a place of misinformation, or it can come from a place of, you know, just not knowing the right reaction, a lot of knee-jerk responses, a lot of less heavily considered opinions. And obviously, it's a complicated situation. But, yeah, we're here to play Minecraft, ultimately. So let's do that. Today, I'm going to be working on a few different things, which is why the title has so many question marks in it, because I'm not sure which of these I want to give the fullness of my time and attention. I might also close the blinds just a little bit. Just so we can see a little bit more of this lovely flag we're flying in the background. And, yeah, be careful on the internet. That's the takeaway from this. So I've got a mob farm on the go for tomorrow's episode, finally, so that everybody can stop asking me why I'm not using my Elytra, because I can actually use it. Bestie Jacob with the 9 months. Enjoy your new Mike sub badge and your Twitch, baby. Thank you so much for supporting for the 9 months. And, yeah, I'm working on the final bits of mob farm. I'm not going to be there for much longer because it's mostly done. The mechanism is there. It's all basically built. I just need to finish the roof. There's Nether Hub that we can do bits and pieces of, just continuing to spawn-proof that and expand the space a bit. We can work on some stuff over at the Dripstone Cave. We can do a lot of different stuff, I think, right now. Sweet Sandy with 100 bits, sending love to all who needs it. Thank you so much. Potato People Amber gifting 5 subs as well. Folks who've been gifted a sub, enjoy your emotes. Looks like we might have a hype train rolling in a second or two here. Let's hop right into it. Let's play some Minecraft. Going to be in the Survival Guide Season 2 world throughout. Can I make a video on Elytra launchers? Maybe at some point, yeah. In the meantime, though, I've got this to fill in, so we're going to do this together. And obviously, right now, this isn't going to be producing that much stuff because we're not AFKing hundreds of blocks in the air, but we will be doing that afterwards just to test things, just to make sure everything's working out okay. Just got a lot of blocks to place in the meantime. Love the beard? Hey, thank you. My beard changes shape every so often, it changes size every so often, but it is still the same beard, so I'm glad you like it. These are the reasons I don't like watching the news. I mean, same, but I feel like it's also important to stay as informed as we can be, that's all. In the video today, I was showing Dripstone in the Nether that no matter where you place it and water in the overworld, how about the end? I'm pretty sure the end would just be water, since the end doesn't have any kind of restrictions on what liquids can be placed there. It'd be weird if the end just did milk. But you can't put that in cauldrons, so it wouldn't really make any difference. The title we gave, is that a question for us to answer? I mean, it was more an indication of me not knowing what we're going to stick with for the majority of the stream. Because this is almost done. And it was mostly just going to be Nether Hub and base work stuff today, but I figured I should at least get this done first. And honestly, there's not a huge amount I can do left on the mob farm, other than finish the roof. I'm afraid of lightning striking the wooden slab roof. Not really.
Well, that's just pride.
Like, I'll put a lightning rod up here eventually, and it won't matter. Reader Mahoney, thank you for the Prime sub. Potato People Amber with 100 bits as well. Thank you for the 100 Corgos. Does this work in Bedrock? No. Bedrock has different spawning rules when it comes to hostile mobs. It doesn't allow them to spawn in such a small space. And so the Bedrock Edition equivalent of this is more complicated and larger. The reason a lot of technical players tend to prefer Java is that it allows for more optimized farms and the spawning rules are better understood. How can you be happy with any world spawn? You don't need to be happy with the world spawn because, honestly, every world is going to have some features out there that you will enjoy. Just remember that you can go anywhere else in the world if you want to. Like, I wasn't especially happy with this world spawner initially, but I'm learning to like it, you know? You've got to get yourself established there. Create things to like about it if you don't like it initially. Can you say that this is the next video? What do you mean? Like, are you assuming this is the next video? Because yes, it is. I mentioned that on YouTube already. Bedrock has mob spawning issues. I hope that will be fixed in the next version. Doubtful, because I think the reason Bedrock has mob spawning issues is largely because it has to be functional on lower performance mobile devices. And I don't want this to be like the excuse for everything that happens on Bedrock Edition, but a lot of the time you've got to consider people who are still playing Minecraft on older devices. And I don't know at what point those devices end up getting phased out and they decide to do something different with mob spawning, but there's a few things which are fundamentally different about playing Minecraft on an iPad. And I feel like an iPad might potentially not handle 70 mobs all spawning in one space particularly well. I don't know. Dream96, thank you for the 100 bits. We got a hype train rolling, but it's a little bit of a low-key one today. Is this an all-mob farm or a creeper farm? We're going all mobs at first, because then we can talk about how we can modify this farm design to just spawn creepers, and then, like, we're building on the knowledge we've already got, you know? Big Boss Ken, thank you for the Prime sub. Potato People Amber with another 100 bits. Thank you for the 100 Corgos once again. Looks like our level 1 hype train is rolling on through to level 2. I remain calm while being in a very hostile situation. I know, I'm a very stoic guy, that's the thing. I don't tend to, like, overreact to stuff the way some folks do. That's why I consider my channel a little bit different to some of the other folks out there, because I try and focus on staying informative and having, like, a pretty... I don't know, a pretty stoic reaction to a lot of things. And that doesn't mean I can't have fun, but I feel like this game is not something that I can react that way to anymore. Like, Minecraft rarely, if ever, does anything that blows my mind. And I feel like the Warden video is probably the closest we've got to something like that because of the genuine excitement of there being something different in Minecraft for a while, you know? Will I be on Empire Season 2? I haven't decided yet, because we don't know what the deal is with Empire Season 2 yet. We haven't made many plans, we don't know when it's going to happen. Everyone's taking a break right now and focusing on other things. By the way, today I'm drinking out of a Good Mythical Morning mug, which is kind of a coincidence. But if you watch today's episode of Good Mythical Morning, Gemini Tay is on it. Or not, like, on it directly, but some of Gem's builds are featured in a segment where they're looking at like people time-lapse building stuff in Minecraft and they have to figure out what it is before the timer counts down and you actually see the finished build. And like there's some really cool stuff in there by Gem. So like amazing to see Gem spotlighted by somebody who's like an institution like GMM at this point. What is Good Mythical Morning? I recommend you Google that. Speaking of the Warden video, how many questions about the hat? Very few, because I did leave in a clip that said something about the hat. I think somebody asked because we were already, what was it, like 3 hours into the stream at that point when I'd started the video, and somebody did come in and ask, hey, I'm glad you're checking out the snapshot, what's with the hat? And so I did put something in there. I mean, a bunch of people just haven't seen me before, so for all they know, that's how I dress. Which is always quite a funny thought. Partner love GMM, she watches it all the time. Yeah, they're good dudes. Out of all the internet creators out there, they do seem like they've got their heads on right, you know? I'm just a train nerd. Yeah, it's me and Francis Bourgeois. Just hanging out on the weekends. Potato People Amber with the $4.20. Thank you so much. Beans Bean with a tier 1 sub and Tromler with a prime sub. Thank you both. Enjoy your new emotes and sub badges. Welcome to the Pixels. Well, really appreciate the support, folks. Thank you very much. J Flam, thank you so much for dropping in. If it's your first time here, hope you enjoy the stream. We're just building some stuff in Minecraft right now. I'm finishing up a mob farm for a YouTube episode that I will have out tomorrow. This should be all good to go now. So really what we need to do is pillar up from somewhere around here with some scaffolding. I need to take the lowest coordinates of the farm, which is basically down here, right? Like this is 72, so 2 blocks down from that it's going to be Y70, so we'll need to be up at around Y198. We'll do like 195, 6 or so just to be on the safe side. Potato People Am with the 400 bits, Raven Fire with the 500s. This is a sleepy morning for you at work. Glad you're such a chill streamer so I can keep up this vibe. I mean, always chill here, always chill. $130, 140. We're still going up. There's no hostile mobs around here for me to check, but the spawning sphere is going to be quite kind to us, I think. So I think around here is probably our ideal AFK point. How do we know if there are mobs spawning down there? I mean, we don't. At least not right now. But then we can hop down from here and find out. Happy Deb, thank you for the $5. Appreciate the cheers and tips, guys. Alright, let's hop on down. See if we got mobs. And we do! Heck yeah! Well, that at least means that all of these areas are spawnable, which is what we want. Oh, yes. And this is completely dark all the way to the edges. Perfect, perfect. Good, good, good. So the roof is adequate. It's a monstrosity, but it's adequate. And if we hop on down here... Oh, yes. We got farm, baby. We got farm. All right. That will do for now. Does the seed work in Bedrock? Not yet, but it will. Whenever the next Bedrock update adds the 64-bit seed generation, it will work in Bedrock. It's working in the current Bedrock beta, at least. Any thoughts about doing the general mob farm over a warm ocean to eliminate hostile mobs in the water? Do drown not spawn in warm oceans? I thought they did. How big was that roof? I haven't counted the exact dimensions of it, but it's basically 15 blocks out from the tip of each of those diamond-shaped platforms. Because if you think about it, each block further away is going to eliminate one more block light, and then you just have to, like, square it off and round off the corners if you want to, but you need to make sure that there are completely dark spaces in all throughout the farm, even during the day. Can you use tinted glass in the mob farm? I mean, if you've got tinted glass, sure. I go into that a little bit in the video. I just don't have enough tinted glass to really make it worth my while right now. And farming that amount of tinted glass would be a little bit tedious, because I don't have a huge amount of amethyst shards available to me. So I could make like 2 stacks of tinted glass, would not be nearly enough to cover the roof of that right now. Or the outside, for that matter. What texture pack do I recommend? Personally, I tend to build with the default texture pack at all times, because the way I see it, if you can build stuff that looks good with the default textures, then that means you're a decent builder. I find that other texture packs tend to rely too much on adding detail to the block textures to make builds look interesting. And you can only guarantee that everybody has access to the default texture pack, you know? But that's my personal preference. Anybody else wants to change the look of Minecraft, that's absolutely up to them, and I don't begrudge you doing that. It's just, in terms of my own recommendations, that's really all I can offer. Does going into spectator mode to safe loot count as cheat? I don't understand what that means. Jimmy the Bearded Goat, thank you for the 6 months. 6-month follow you on Twitch, way more than that on YouTube. Favorite Minecraft content creator. Well, thank you so much. Probably means you just haven't found the good ones yet. Adult drown and baby drown spawn with a trident. Drown spawn naturally at light level of 0 in all ocean biomes except for warm ocean. Aquifers in the dripstone biomes and cave biomes. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, the nearest warm ocean to me is about 2,500 blocks away. So personally, I prefer to have really, like, basic utility mob farms like this close enough to spawn that I can just fly over here from whatever my sort of central portal location is, because usually I'm gravitating towards the center of the world anyway. The other option is to build it in a desert so you don't get as many zombie spawns, because husks need sky access in order to spawn, so they won't spawn inside of mob farms, and they are 90% of the zombies that spawn in deserts. We did that in the hardcore series, and it worked out quite well because we didn't get as much rotten flesh. But I think, in the meantime, over the ocean is just the most sensible thing, because we can build it close to, like, ground level, like as low down in the world as possible to take advantage of, like, minor sort of aspects of the spawning algorithm being slightly faster the further down you go, instead of building it 120 blocks in the sky or whatever. Tallulah with the 15 months. Sorry, I've not been around a while recently to resubscribe. Hey, no worries. I mean, your support is always appreciated, but never expected. It's always a pleasant surprise, so thank you. But yeah, like, we aren't going to build a perimeter and build the most efficient farm possible, because I don't have the technology for that right now, if ever. But I do think it's kind of fun to be able to build something that's relatively optimal for low-effort Minecraft mob farm, you know? Targeting elytra and shulker boxes early, so is it convenient to make farms and builds? Is this a good strategy? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, do what you want. It's your Minecraft world. What would I think about husks dropping sand like in Skyblock? I would like there to be a more inventive source of renewable sand than just adding it to the mob drops of husks. It's convenient for Skyblock because they're mobs that you can farm easily, but frankly, I sort of think if husks are the solution to dropping sand, why wasn't that just implemented when husks were? You know, we've had, what were they, 1.10? Was that the one that added magma blocks and strays and husks and everything else? So we've had 8 updates since then. There's a 9th on the way, and if they only just now added sand to a husk loot table, I feel like it's too little too late to me. And besides that, it's quite difficult to farm husks. Like, you need to make a multi-platform mob farm like this, but out of scaffolding instead of solid blocks. And so, yeah, I find it's a little... Is a little too little, I think. Is this all type of mob farm? Yes. We're starting off, because I haven't really discussed mob farming in the world yet, except for, like, running around at night hitting stuff with a looting sword. I haven't really done any kind of mob farms that aren't spawner based, so I wanted to discuss the basic mechanics while still making a farm that's going to be here for the majority of the series. I need bone meal. I wouldn't mind a little bit of extra passively farmed string and stuff like that. So I think it makes sense to build a general mob farm first and then do a creeper specialized one later, when really all we need to do is double the amount of wood, because we need to put trapdoors on every other block. You know? There should be a way of acquiring sand from crafting. I honestly think there should be a way of acquiring sand that's just fun and inventive. Like, I don't think crafting is necessarily the solution either, because crafting is just like, you put stuff in an interface and you get stuff out. Like, again, that seems like something that should have happened already if it's going to happen. What I'm thinking is, like, big, giant, like, Dune-style sandworm boss that you fight, and then once you take it down, its body turns into sand, and you just get this, like, massive area of sand, like a dune all of its own, that you can harvest. And then that makes it more interesting. Technical players get to farm this giant creature, you know, that kind of thing. But then, yeah, how do they program that? Like, it's It's an ambitious vision for something that's a fairly basic mechanic. So like you can go any number of ways with it, really, can't you? There's a lot of different things that they could do with it. It's like, how do they then make it viable at this point? I need more wood than that. I'm going to make myself another shield because this one is running low, and I should probably put Mending and Unbreaking on a shield at some stage. I just haven't bought the books. Building your first mega base. Do I have any tips? Pace yourself. And you get to determine what a mega base means to you. So don't get, like, dissatisfied with it if it takes a while and, like, you know, even if you have to step away from it to do other things in the meantime, you can come back to it later. Pace yourself. Otherwise, you end up just feeling dissatisfied and burnt out with it. And nobody wants that in Minecraft. Let's throw this down here with the leftover gear for now. It's in here. There we go. Dune or Tremors? Both. Either. How do you convince your parents to buy you Minecraft? You don't. You wait until you're old enough, you buy it yourself. Or your parents maybe, you know, turn around and get it for you for a special occasion or something like that. Just like, you know, have patience, wait. How to improve your building skills? Watch builders, get reference images from Google, and try and recreate them in creative first. Don't trust to the idea of doing everything in survival, because while a lot of builders will do that, they're already pretty experienced, and honestly, creative mode can really help a lot in figuring out good combinations of materials, ways to illustrate things that might be a little bit more detailed. There's a lot of different stuff to talk about with building. Building is so subjective that it gets difficult to really give tips on that apply to everybody. I need to make a nether portal down to this. I've been making nether portals recently, and I feel like this is one of those things that I do need a portal set up for at some stage. This is the spider farm for folks who aren't familiar. This is the main source of XP in this world beyond just, like, smelting more stuff. And it probably won't be for much longer, but we'll see what we can do about that. Tips for making natural-looking custom trees? You watched some videos and they didn't really help. What about them was unhelpful? Honestly, the best tip for making natural-looking custom trees is farm a lot of leaves and always build the tree bigger than you expect. How about dirt converting to sand after being hit by artificial waves? What does artificial waves mean, first of all? And also, you got to consider that any mechanic involving water touching blocks is going to happen, like especially natural blocks, is going to happen way more often than you think, and it's not going to be a benefit to players most of the time. Like the mechanism for turning concrete powder into concrete by putting it in water is important to the mechanics of the game, but I'm still really annoyed that we can't put concrete powder near water without it converting, because it'd be really cool to make like a white sand beach out of white concrete powder, but you really can't. Likewise, it'd be fun to put some more like texture into sandy beaches by using concrete powder, but as soon as it hits water it turns into concrete. So we only have two options for sand blocks. Sand could be gravel that's been through a process. A lot of mods rely on stuff like that, like crushers that turn gravel into sand and sand into dust, and then you sieve dust and you get, like, iron fragments and stuff like that, you know? I honestly think whenever they make an update to deserts, in kind of a similar way as what they did with mountains, where they decided that a mountain update basically meant changing a lot about the way mountain biomes work. I wonder if an update to deserts, when it eventually arrives, bringing, you know, meerkats and palm trees and some of the stuff that they suggested was going to happen in the other biome votes. I do wonder if some kind of update to mechanics for generating sand is going to be part and parcel of those. I guess we'll find out. Nice. We're fully repaired. That's good enough. I think we'll probably end up going over to the village, getting a bit of XP from just trading with villagers. I need to replenish a couple of things. I need more glass. And I can start filling up my storage system with that. But then that's quite near to the Dripstone Cave base. Thinking about using deep slate bricks in your storage rooms. They good blocks, to be honest. Like, a lot of detail in there. Quite high contrast, but you can do some good stuff with them. They pair well with a lot of stuff because grey goes well with a lot of things. Alright, we'll leave it there, I think. There's a couple of spiders still in the system, but there always are, because cave spiders are the worst. Which build am I most proud of out of everything I've ever built? Probably the mountain biome, like the custom mountain that I built in Season 1 of Survival Guide. Before mountains were even on the table for a Minecraft update, we ended up building a ski resort mountain there, which the mountain itself was more developed than the ski resort was. It took 200,000 stone blocks, and like, I was really happy with how it came together in the end. There were about 2,000 people watching me finish it here on Twitch, and it was just one of the highlights, I think. Acadian Bear, thank you for the 300 bits. David Figs and Geek Gamer, thank you for the Prime sub and the Tier 1. Really like deep slate tiles. Yeah, deep slate tiles are great. They're so different to all of the other, like, brick style blocks. They look very modern. I think they're a good choice, both by the art team and for players in general. So nice thinking I have a mob farm. I don't need to worry about like, how much I'm using fireworks and stuff now. Because we can go and grab gunpowder from it whenever we want to, basically. I'm not going to do too much of that right now, because part of the point, really, is to show off the output of this farm in a video. So I'll say, like, look, we managed to get a bunch of mob drops already. Let me AFK at this for half an hour, and I'll show you the output, and we can kind of estimate how many drops we're getting from there. Folks in the chat who are more technically minded, and I know some of you are, thinking of a few individuals in particular, but the platforms in this farm currently alternate between which platforms are flushing at any given time. We're not going to see that many mobs in it right now, because of course we've got mobs below us and everything else, but like, we've got platforms 2, 4, 6, and 8 all flush, and then we've got 1, 3, 5, and 7 flush on a separate cycle. Do you think that's optimal, or do you think it's better to have all the platforms flush at once? Because my thinking is probably all at once, because, you know, as the rest of the mobs are dying in there, it's not going to spawn any more mobs on the other platforms. So do we alternate platforms, or do we have everything flush all at once? Because, like, on larger scale farms, like, all at once will help rates. Alternate is optimal. See, everyone has different opinions about this. The mob cap is still 70, so if we spawn 70 mobs on every platform and then flush them down into there, they die. Does the next cycle spawn 70 mobs? Hopefully. If so, then that's working right. But then, like, if we spawn enough mobs on those platforms, does that then reduce the efficiency of the next cycle once those mobs get flushed and they're still not dead? while those platforms are still trying to spawn stuff. I think this farm is small enough that it doesn't really make a difference. Why not carpets and cats? It's not a creeper farm. It's a general mob farm. Can't I use a water stream to redirect the mobs? I mean, that's kind of what we're doing. The main thing is killing the mobs as fast as possible. Or, like, reasonably fast as possible. Because there could be a fire pit and a ring of hoppers underneath this thing, but obviously, like, some kind of central killing mechanism is easy to handle. I think on the alternate cycle, the previous one's mobs are still dying down there. Yeah, that was my thinking too, but I'm also like, is that, like, hurting the efficiency of the rest of the farm? 70 mobs don't spawn instantly, yeah, correct. So, I think ultimately, we're not going to get 70 mobs spawning on 4 platforms. And there can still be, say, like, you know, 35 or so mobs dying there. Probably not even that. Like, I doubt it's spawning 30 mobs on 4 platforms each time. But that's why we build ones with multiple platforms eventually, right? Like, I've left room for expansion. This ocean is quite large. Why didn't I build a farm in the desert? I mostly just want to cover the basics, because this is for a tutorial series on YouTube, right? So, like, the idea is not to do everything the most efficient way first, or to jump straight to a more advanced version of the farm. We build the basic thing, so we have a foundation of knowledge that we can build on next time. Also, the nearest desert in this world that I could build a functional, decent-sized mob farm in is about, like, 4,000 blocks away diagonally. Like, deserts in this world are relatively rare. So, like, I didn't really feel like building a mob farm 4,000 blocks out that I had to fly to every single time, because that kind of defeats the point. Anecdotally, alternating has always provided better rates. Fair enough. Like, yeah, I have left it open to YouTube comments as well, so that I can get more of a consensus on this, but I imagine everyone's going to have different experience. I'm just curious, because it doesn't matter either way. We're still going to get mob drops, and at that point, like, efficiency is good, but the main factor is time. Like, if you want more drops from this thing, you can just stand at it for longer. You don't need to worry as much about the output of it when you have more time, you know? What up, Beardstone? You've got your caps lock on there, buddy. Either that or you just kind of lurched in the chat being like, afternoon! Which is entirely possible. Extreme Benja with the 2 months. Thank you so much for the 2 months. And Fazoo with the 100 bits. With Soul Sand campfires, take out the mobs faster. Fun fact, they're already Soul Sand campfires. Bold of you to assume I did not go the more efficient route right away. But I explained Soulfire for starters. So yes, they are Soul Sand campfires. I can show this to you right now, actually. Since nothing is going to spawn in here while I'm this close. Ta-da! I already done it. Because I'm a smart one. Been running in Minecraft, caps lock happens. I mean, fair. Yeah, it happens to the best of us. Yeah, I would never build one of these with regular campfires now. For a start, witches probably wouldn't die on even Soul Sand campfires, but I want to give it my best shot. And also, yeah, Soul Sand is just faster. Has anybody started using pointed dripstone for farms like this? Like, has anybody started making drop-based farms with just a shorter drop because pointed dripstone basically doubles the amount of fall damage you take? Would I consider building a hoglin farm? Yes, once we talk about the nether roof. But, not really much point building a hoglin farm where I am right now because there's too much terrain. And I'm not going to do stuff with the nether roof for a little while. Did it for the ender? Yeah, I can see that. Do you need to have, like, hopper minecarts in the collection area? What's this cow doing down here? Do you need to have hopper minecarts in the collection area to avoid drops, but basically getting stuck on top of the pointed dripstone, or is that not really a factor? One-hit Enderman farms can use dripstone to increase efficiency. Yeah, like, do the ender pearls end up getting stuck on the pointed dripstone ever, or is that not a thing? You can't place it on hoppers. So you do, it can be inconsistent due to the mobs landing with the offset placement. Yeah. Tried it with Zombie Pigman farming creative. You don't keep drops from the ender. Sure, fair enough. If it's just for XP, then I get it. Sure. I was thinking mainly for farming ender pearls as well. Small chance they get stuck up there. I assume you can also just, like, push a hopper minecart into a block and that will help, right? Like, if you really want to go the extra mile with that and you want to use pointed dripstone, you could do the same thing we do with the sheep farm, where it's a hopper minecart pushed down over a block. Obviously that ups your entity count, but, like, it's minor, I guess. And if you're funneling the enderman into, like, single blocks anyway. Did that with the gold farm. The babies avoid the hitbox of dripstone, so I took them away with the water stream into a trident killer. Fair enough. I guess if you're on bedrock, it's slightly different, huh? Gonna make pancakes? Enjoy your pancakes! I should make pancakes one of these days. I haven't made them for a while. Anyhow, now that mob farm stuff is out of the way, we can maybe do a bit of work on the Nether hub. We can also, I'm honestly gonna do this now. We can go and see if the Amethyst geode has grown at all. Will I make a video about scaffolding? Yes. Yeah, I can do that. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not sure what order to cover it in, because there are some things that seem really basic and I could do an entire video on, but it sort of feels like we aren't making a whole lot of progress if I just do a lot of videos about individual things and I'm like, this is what Soulfire is, you know? So I work it into other videos here and there, but I think scaffolding is one of the things that probably deserves a full kind of explanation of what I have learned about using scaffolding and how useful it becomes. Is it because I have fancy graphics on? Yeah, like if you... the stuff it renders through water is really odd, and if you don't have fancy if you don't have fabulous graphics enabled, like if I've just got it set to fancy, I can't see the wireframe around the Amethyst geode, like the Amethyst cluster, through water. Which makes it very difficult to tell if I'm targeting the actual block or not. Obviously, once we're in water, I don't think it matters, because you can... yeah, it doesn't try and render it through the surface of water at that point. But still, that's a little bit rough for farming stuff like this from the surface, you know? I am back to wearing my diamond helmet, so I have a little bit more respiration than I had last time I came down here and harvested some of these. Can stay underwater for a touch longer. Still not enough, though. Which reminds me I need to do an episode on conduits at some stage. What's the proper distance for an AFK platform for a mob farm? You need to be 128 blocks away from any other spawnable spaces, and you need to be less than 128 blocks away from your mob farm spawning platforms. Aside from that, it doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that the mobs end up going into whatever's killing them and dying without them getting 128 blocks away from you where they would instantly despawn. It is perhaps optimal to AFK like 32 blocks away, because that way they wouldn't have a chance to randomly despawn. But I think once they're taking damage, maybe even once they're moving in the water streams, there is less chance of them randomly despawning because something is happening to them. Obviously, being within 32 blocks of a mob farm like the one we've just built would require us to spawn-proof a much larger area. So it's really a compromise between what you're prepared to spawn-proof, which in my case is not a lot, and whether or not you allow mobs to randomly despawn or no. I think we're good there. I think that's all of the fully grown amethyst clusters mined out. We've got that one. Yeah, we got that one. Okay. Cool. Good, good, good. Oh, that one just grew right in front of our eyes. Let's get that as well. We're still filing on into here. Oh, wow, we got loads. Great. That's some tinted glass in our future, then. Is the 128 blocks just all loaded chunks, or is it diagonal? It's a radius. It's a spawning sphere. If you want to see those in action, Vanilla Tweaks has...
Well, that's just prime.
Boy, is it. Reaper, thank you for the brand new Prime sub. Vanilla Tweaks has a really good data pack that allows you to render in spawning spheres using particles that kind of show you the radius around you that mobs would spawn. The timing on the sub was great. Yeah, great work there. Well done. Very, very well done. Wonder if I'll make a copper farm using zombie reinforcements. See, I'm tempted, but I don't think it's really that effective for a single-player world. Like, I think we'll do it at some stage just because we can, but I think on anything other than on a single-player world as opposed to a multiplayer server, mining for copper is, like, way more buffed in 1.18. You can also break down 1 block of copper into 4 cut copper using a stone cutter now, whereas previously it was 1-to-1. So I have way more copper than I will ever need from mining out a huge copper vein, which took maybe, like, you know, a couple of hours worth of work. Is there still some in here? No, I moved it all to my storage system. I have tons of copper, though. And if I wanted more, I could get more very easily. What drops copper? The drowns do. Originally, they dropped gold, but when copper was implemented in 1.17, it was added to the drowns loot table and replaced gold. Because Piglin's already dropped that, so why bother? Hey, Sinner, thank you so much for the 17 months. And, yeah, at a certain point, I believe it was Nembon, developed a farm. See, like, this is how much copper I have, and I have this many blocks of raw copper and so much more copper ore, and I only mined out, like, less than half of the copper vein that I found. So, like, I think just going mining with Fortune 3 in a Dripstone Cave or a huge copper vein is going to far outpace any drowned farm that you could make. Like, I think it is really just going to be a matter of mining being way better at this stage. And it's not like an iron farm where it can run passively in the background, you know what I mean? Like, iron farms are still viable because they can run without player input, but the player has to be there looting all of these drowns. You get tons of rotten flesh and stuff before you get the copper, really. Why aren't I using Optifine anymore? Will I cover it in a video? I'm planning on doing a video about Optifine in the near future, but I also don't want to rely exclusively on using Optifine because then you've got to wait for it to update and stuff. Same goes for sodium, lithium, all of that kind of stuff. I think because there are so many alternatives to Optifine now, that's what's put me off using any of them until I make a video about them. But the zoom functionality has been replaced by the spyglass for me. I don't have it on me right now. I think it's probably in my ender chest. Yeah, but I use the spyglass a good amount because it's like it's a fun immersive thing for the world. I like the sound effects. Like, it's a good implementation of a zoom feature. I don't need to zoom in all that much anymore, and when I do, I can use the spyglass for it. But yeah, I will probably make a video eventually about Optifine versus Sodium versus whatever other performance mods are out there. Honestly, though, it's just nice to be able to update as soon as a new update comes out without having to worry about waiting for some of those mods, even though they're usually fairly quick to update these days. Just not being dependent on it is nice, you know? There's a Vanilla Tweaks texture pack where the spyglass goes, what? When you... What? Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of, like, third life-based ones as well. There's ones that go, aha, when you zoom in or whatever. You like connected glass? Yeah, connected glass is probably the only thing I would still go to Optifine for at this stage. And I haven't really built enough with glass that I've noticed a problem with it. Like, even this, I'm like, I can look past the lines in the glass. It'd really just be if I was building something modern and I didn't want the entire thing to look like it was made of cubes, you know? Which we'll probably get to in future. But yeah, connected textures is the one holdout. And yeah, connected glass is possible with like texture packs and stuff, but again, Optifine just has like the package deal thing to it, you know? Like it has the advantage of being an all-in-one thing where you get performance optimizations, more video options, a zoom key, shaders support, and connected textures all at once, you know? Will I make an episode on tunnel bores? Maybe in future. I have never built one before, so it would be an education for me as well as my audience. But I would want to be able to design it myself because I don't feel like it's right to make a tutorial about somebody else's design. Even if their design is pretty well established and better than anything I could come up with, it's still like, sure, let me just crib off their design. You know, I give people credit when I do stuff like that. I basically have to. But yeah, I still prefer to design stuff like that myself because then I have a better understanding of it and it's easier for me to explain the mechanics of something that I've built myself than it is for me to like explain somebody else's design without just copying their homework, you know? Hugo, thank you so much for the 7 months. Why doesn't vanilla use connected glass? Because they just chose not to. Because this is the vanilla implementation of glass. It's not like it's, you know, it's not like it's the most obvious thing in the world to use connected glass. Optifine just decided that they should do that. You know, and whoever else before Optifine, because I expect connected glass was a thing for a while before Optifine really became a mainstream thing. How long did it typically take to film and edit each survival guide episode? On average, I'd say it's about, 2 hours worth of filming and probably about the same of editing, if I'm honest. I want it to be less time for editing, but I tend to get a bit perfectionist about some of this stuff. Oh yeah, I need to fix the creeper hole over there. Honestly, I need to light up that island better, so this will be a good opportunity to do that. Now, I don't plan on bringing villagers to my base at all. I don't like having villagers around every base that I make, because usually villagers can get set up in one area and they'll just be fine where they are. But if you end up going back to your base with Bad Omen at any point, then you're triggering a raid at your base, which is not a disaster, because most people can handle a raid, but it's an irritation. It's, it's a problem I don't want. And so more often than not, I will avoid moving villagers to anywhere where I just, I can't be bothered dealing with pillagers. And pillagers won't spawn in an area where a village is, and... Excuse me. Thankfully, these days, Minecraft counts a village as anything with a villager and a workstation, but there are occasionally times at which it's unavoidable to get Bad Omen for whatever reason. And, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that. And yeah, usually I can find a cow and stuff, but I don't want to deal with the hassle. I don't want to have to find a cow. I just want to be able to do my thing, and maybe I've got cows at my base instead of villagers, and that makes it a little bit easier. That should largely be well lit enough. I don't like going around with the debug screen on looking at block light now, but I'm pretty sure, give or take over here at the beds, there'll still be a couple of creepers wandering in from the foresty bits over here, but the majority of this got some block light around it now. It's so much easier to light stuff up in 118. Why is there a ladder? That leads down to the Amethyst geode farm that we made in a previous episode. Really wish they had a brief warning before raids happened. Yeah, I mean, I agree. But then the brief warning is having bad omen in the first place, right? What's the difference between vanilla spyglass and Optifine spyglass? I mean, Optifine has a zoom key. It doesn't have a spyglass. The Optifine spyglass doesn't have this surround thing. It zooms instantly, so it doesn't like gradually zoom in like that. It just kind of goes poof and it's there. And you don't need an item in your inventory to use it. Those are the main differences. Which of these is spiders? That's spiders. Cool. Do I already have a gold farm? I don't have a gold farm on this world. I have a video about a gold farm from a previous world, which is still pretty accurate. I had to make a couple of fixes to it in 1.16 because of piglin spawning, but just make it out of magma blocks instead of solid other blocks. Ambula, thank you for the 2 months of Prime. Alright, let's throw these arrows out that I don't need. Let's go to the Nether once I've found my gold helmet. I want to do a bit of lighting in the Nether. That's not where my ender chest is anymore. I want to do a bit of lighting in the Nether. I want to figure out where the light sources can go that will be fun to use them. Let's swap this out as well. Okay. I'm trying to get better at quick swapping stuff into my armor spaces. Since we don't have the option to like right click it from the hotbar, I'm just trying to get better with like inventory shortcut stuff. Now I can put the fireworks away as well. Always end up doing that. If I take my elytra off, I still have like half a stack of fireworks in my inventory. I'm like, why? Why have you done this? We'll leave the grass here as well, because I've got enough grass path in there already. Buckets likewise. I think lanterns are going to be a good call. We have so much iron and so many torches. I think I also have a decent amount of lanterns that I traded with my librarians back at the village, but I'm using those at the Dripstone Cave. So we'll craft a bunch from here. And I think we'll start using these. In this more like homey looking section of the Nether hub. The problem, of course, being that this is a too wide Nether portal. So I wonder if maybe we put some other kind of block in here, like we do this. Scaffolding as though it's a table, and then lantern like that. Gives it a slightly better lit vibe. I would like them hanging from the ceiling in some spots, though. Looking real nice on the Nether portal side. This is today's video, if people haven't seen this already. My Nether hub is flammable. I know, but there's no fire here, so it's fine. No ghasts either. Don't spawn in Crimson Forests. Or if they do, it's pretty rare because there's other mobs around and too much foliage and stuff. So yeah, nothing to worry about. What if a ghost comes through? Well, if they add ghosts to Minecraft, it'll be a different story, won't it? Oh, sorry, if a ghost cones through. Even worse. Am I still going to go with a medieval aesthetic? No, I'm not trying to go like full medieval when I build like a town. It's not really working out that way quite yet. I'm thinking we'll have the center of the world, the spawn area, just be kind of like whatever I want to, like the stuff that makes sense, stuff that's a bit more cozy and rustic probably, but then with the Dripstone Cave, I'm not certain yet. It's going a bit more fantasy, a bit more kind of dwarven, maybe, which seems obvious, but then, you know, sometimes the obvious ideas are good because they're good, you know? And then with other stuff elsewhere in the world, we'll do a variety of builds. I need to do more architectural research before we build anything modern, but I think there's going to be some fun options there. One of the things I wanted to do around this that I mentioned in the video today is put down a bunch of like storage blocks around here to indicate that this portal leads to my storage system. So like barrels, chests, that kind of stuff. Like we can craft a bunch of those. Maybe like a composter or two. Those aren't spawnable, so those will be fine. We do a couple of barrels. Maybe put some like trapdoors on them and things. You know, we can spawn-proof them in different ways. A couple of people did point out buttons. I didn't really mention buttons as part of the spawn-proofing stuff, and that's mainly because I don't want to just have like the entire floor be like that. That doesn't feel good to walk on to me. That looks like it's made out of Legos that are gonna hurt my feet if I step on them, even though it's, you know, not that way. Buttons look ugly. Yeah, I mean, buttons are good for functional spawn proofing, and I think that's what people thought. They were like, oh, this is all just functional, like when you're spawn proofing, you know, a nether fortress for a blaze farm or with a skeleton farm or whatever. And I was like, no, that's not the intention here at all. This is much more about aesthetics than it is about anything else. So I think right here we'll add in like a little spruce shelf kind of thing. We'll put some logs up here. Maybe another slab there as a shelf. We'll put like barrels in here. We'll do a composter underneath. Have, you know, another barrel, I guess, here. Although maybe we put it that way up. We put a trapdoor over the top of that. It's not spawnable. Hey, what do you want? Maybe I opened the barrel. My bad. These losers. I need to put mending on this helmet or just repair it, I guess. But yeah, we can do stuff like this. Like that, you know, that's spawn proof now. We can't really put the other stuff around here. Oh, I broke the barrel, that was what did it. These guys. I think they own everything, that's the problem. Maybe we do something like this. And then we can put maybe another barrel up there, maybe a crafting table even, you know. There's some stuff we can do. It kind of gives it a bit more of a dynamic, like this has shelves in it sort of look. Button dispenses wine from the barrel. People do that with levers or tripwire hooks. I always like the look of that. We put this composter back here. That's another like neat wood texture we can throw in. Yeah, this kind of implies, you know, crafting, storage, that sort of stuff. They're that neighbor who just loves to be overprotective about everything. They're annoying is what they are. David Figs, thank you for gifting a sub. Very kind of you, David, thank you. Natural chests are obviously going to look good too, so make a few of those. Get rid of this extra plank. And yeah, we'll put some lanterns around. We've got a few more trapdoors here that we can throw in. Maybe another barrel or two. I just want to have more decorations than just a couple of things, you know? This is basically like a wall of things that you don't click because the piglins will get mad at you, but there won't be any piglins in the Nether hub once we're done, so perhaps it makes more sense that way. Yeah, maybe we do another barrel there next to the chest, like so. If we wanted to, we could put some trapdoors back here. Although, right now, that does involve breaking some more of the storage, which the piglins aren't too happy with me. There we go, we can go up and around. We put these in the back. Maybe not here, actually, because that's just going to be in the way. Let's go there. Come on. I'm not standing on the block, am I? Like so. Let's put these in here. Stripped like that. There we go. We've got like a variety of wood texture, a bit of depth. We can hang a lantern from the center here, you know. There, that's fun. We could do soul lanterns. That'd keep the piglins away. I don't think I have any soul lanterns crafted except for maybe one from the last video. It's looking a bit of a mess. That's the thing. I want it to feel a bit more jumbly. Like, I don't know if anyone's seen Hermitcraft Season 7, I guess? 7 was the one with the Diamond Throne and the Turf War and all of that stuff, right? Etho's base in that was really interesting to me because he was doing stuff that was just like such a mix and a jumble of textures to look at from the outside, and then the inside was a bit more nice and organized, and there's just so many different blocks and textures all going on at once, and it just kind of adds up to this overall vibe instead of it being like just a flat wall that you can look at, you know? And I like that style of building. He called it the monstrosity, right? But it was really much more about using all of the stuff that's in the game and maybe building with some stuff that you're unfamiliar with, and it starts to take on this character of its own if you pair stuff that has a similar color temperature, and like you can throw together a bunch of stuff that you might not think to build with otherwise. Like he was building walls out of melons and things like that, you know? The base with no outside shell. The thing is, he started on the outside shell, and I think maybe he just wasn't sure about the direction to take it and didn't have enough time to completely finish things because he had other stuff going on, but I liked his philosophy behind that base when he was designing the outside of it. I sort of liked the idea of giving almost like a condensed version of what a base is, because this is all so organized looking when you get to it, right? It's all chests and organized barrels, and none of the piglins attack you when you hit them, and there's wooden pillars around, and like, yeah, all of this stuff feels very organized. But then you have these little alcove sections at the back here that are also part of the style of it. I just noticed the dirt up there that I should probably get rid of. But then you can squish that down. And if you think about it right, this is sort of what you get from the Nether anyway, because the Nether is supposed to be like a 1:8 scale thing with the overworld. Like every 8 blocks in the overworld is a block in the Nether. So if you imagine that each of the areas around these portals is almost like a scaled down version of what you find in the overworld. It's like you take the whole thing, you put it into a car crusher, and it just smushes everything into one space. I kind of like that as an idea, and that gives me a lot more thematic freedom to build something a bit more jumbly looking in the Nether. The Nether is chaotic to begin with, right? Like, squished is kind of the vibe. Parishna, thank you for gifting that sub. But yeah, I think there's the opportunity to do some stuff like that, maybe. Do I know what I'm going to do with the portal on the overworld side? I'm probably going to decorate it with Amethyst like I've been doing with the other ones. I like the idea of all of the portals in the overworld being surrounded by geode. But then when you go through to the Nether, it's actually something a bit different. Yeah, the biomes or the builds end up in like a trash compactor when you go through to the Nether. That's got some potential. I do kind of like that. Also, I really want to put... I need to get some more azalea. I'm sure I have azalea somewhere, right? I think I took it all over to the Dripstone Cave base. I always do these with note blocks, but I want to put little note block leaf things here. Oh, I have some made already. Great. Yeah, I want to put some like note blocks in here with leaves on the top of them to look like little plants, you know. Stuff like this. For whatever reason, that just makes me happy. What does everyone think of the mangrove trees? I'm looking forward to them. If they keep the wood type that they've got, they've you know, shown off at Minecraft Live, I think it's going to be a great transition between acacia and jungle woods, which people don't use as much because they don't have as many kind of gradient transitions as the more brown wood types have. Those are a bit more kind of orangey pink. So we'll see how they end up looking. But I know a bunch of people gave feedback about not liking the color, and that may even motivate Mojang to change things a little bit. I'm going to put mending on this helmet. I don't know if I have a mending book around here, but I should probably go to the village. I said I was going to do that anyway for glass and whatnot. Want to use jungle wood more, but it's hard to match a lot of the time. I've used it in some places around here. It's okay if you put in some other things that have little pink highlights to them, like these azalea leaves. It starts to help that stuff feel more at home. I used it a lot more in the desert as well, because that warm color palette was around with the sand and the sandstone. It made more sense to me with the warm colors than it did really anything else. Don't have any emeralds in here. It's all in the storage system anyway. But I don't think I have a mending book here. Silk touch, protection. Yeah, all of these are just ones that I wasted my levels on because I was going through all the levels before the dragon fight to show how much experience you got. Building a ghast farm, so you need to sneak a lot because of all the magma blocks. Put magma blocks in a ghast farm? What kind of ghast farm are you building? I'm curious. Are you just preventing other stuff from spawning in there? I need to get some more golden carrots as well, I think. Not this way. Still trying to orient myself here, but I know which way I'm going. Get out of here! Now we're good. Do I have headphones that I use while streaming, or do I just use speakers? I use speakers. I have the volume turned down relatively low. But yeah, I don't really like wearing headphones when I stream. My headphones are big and clunky. And they're very comfortable to use for, like, the rest of the day's recording. Like, I don't feel like they pinch my head and I get a headache from wearing them or anything. They're big over-ear ones, so most of the time they're fine, but they're huge. So when I wear them on stream, I look like an idiot. Not that I care that much about my own appearance. It's more just a comfort thing. I get quite hot when I'm wearing them. Do I ever miss the Empire's SMP? Not really. I miss the people, I don't miss the server. Glass, please. And iron to you. Iron to you. Iron to you. This is my new song. And Silk Touch. Iron to you. Where's my Fletcher? And golden carrots from you. Oh, thanks, bud. Apparently I traded with him more recently than I thought. It's a bop. May as well keep trading these. I have so much iron, I have no need for it aside from trading with these guys. And you've got those. Also buy a bookshelf off of him. I don't think that's the cheapest bookshelf trade, but at least we can break it down for some books, because I don't have those over here. It's raining somewhere. Not here, though. And this guy has the Unbreaking 3 book. Still expensive, but I don't really care. This guy has the Mending book for 1 emerald. And yeah, I have Unbreaking 2 on this right now. I don't need to worry much about the other protection types. I might also get another Mending book and another Unbreaking. Which is you. Respiration. Nope, not him. Ah! The villagers are in me. I don't like it. Where's the other librarian? Is it this guy? Yes. Yeah, let's grab another couple of books. Where'd he go? Where you at? Not him. Respiration. Unbreaking. Okay, cool. Then we can put that on the shield and everyone can stop telling me to do that. I don't think I have an anvil over here, though. So we'll have to do that back at the base. What's up, Phillips? Welcome in.
Alright, let's bring that beat back.
Didn't bring an ender chest with me either, did I? No. Should really stop carrying one of those around just in general. Oh, we got some glass here as well. Let's take that back to the base. It's also funny because there's grass path here. You step out into the Nether and the grass path continues. The dirt path, rather, now. Woodlouse Pie with the 2 months. Thank you so much for the 2 months. Did I trim my mustache? Yeah, I'm sure I did at some stage. I don't maintain it as often as I should, you know? These hoglins are a menace. I guess we'll come out of the geode portal, because that's where the anvil is. I need to figure out which way to turn in the Nether to have the portal there come out with me facing the right way. Hiding out in the stream to avoid Elden Ring spoilers. Is it really the type of game you can spoil? I thought it was... Or is it more like the experience that you don't want to spoil rather than like plot details? Because I get the sense it's like a Dark Souls game, right? So it's all like lore instead of actual story. I mean, there's no real difference between the two, but you know what I mean. It's all lore like the Dream SMP. Nice. So that helmet's going to repair itself. I'm not going to put Unbreaking and Mending on the shield quite yet. Because then suddenly I'll have an Unbreaking Mending shield in a video and everyone's immediately like, oh, when did you do that? I'll do that in a video so I can explain a bit more about why I haven't done it sooner. throw as much of this glass as we want to into the storage system now, because it's storing glass instead of storing mycelium. I still have not found a mushroom island, and that's something we might go looking for in a future stream or episode. Do I plan on creating a town in this world? Yeah, I'm sure we'll do a town at some point. I want to do something that's not a medieval town, though, because obviously medieval's been done to death in Minecraft, and I did it last season of Survival Guide, so I'd like to settle on a different theme. I'm just not sure what yet. Don't want to spoil the experience, I suppose, rather than story aspects, like everything as a whole and not just specific plot points. Yeah, no, that makes sense. There are all kinds of things you can be spoiled for that aren't necessarily just like, you know, the plot points. And I feel like plot points is usually just like, who dies in this? I feel like that's the most significant stuff people don't want to be spoiled for. But I don't know what the structure of Elden Ring is, really. Wild West Town. I feel like there's only a couple of ways you can really do that. I like the idea of doing something a bit more open-ended, because I feel like kind of Wild West frontier town kind of stuff tends to look very samey. Probably because big towns like that were built, you know, out of what people had available to them and cheap materials and things. So they always end up constructed the same. There's always just like a big long high street with saloons and things. It's fun to see that stuff recreated in Minecraft, of course, but it doesn't necessarily vibe with me that much. Until I ever get rickrolled. I've been using the internet since the internet has existed, more or less. Or at least public internet. Of course I have been rickrolled. The internet has one joke. And it's a rickroll. Want to see what I build for modern? The thing about modern, or I like to try and draw the distinction between modern and contemporary, because, like, you think of a modern city, you think of, I don't know, London or wherever, right? But London has buildings in it that are hundreds, if not sometimes thousands of years old. And bits that have been rebuilt because, you know, they've been destroyed or torn down or whatever over the years. And so a modern city tends to look like a mixture of dozens of different architectural styles. And so I think of that as contemporary more than modern. If you think of, like, modern architecture, it's a very different thing. Skyscrapers are so overdone in Minecraft, they're also hard to do in survival. I mean, it's a good reason to do it. If something's hard, then you consider it a challenge. But yeah, I'm curious about what we can do with that stuff. Hillary, thank you so much for gifting that sub. Oh yeah, I've got a ton of bricks in here. Not a ton of bricks, there's just some bricks, but that's already halfway mended my gold helmet because it has so little durability. But I wanted to make a lot of flower pots so that we can maybe put some of those in the Nether hub at some stage. Maybe something from Asia. I've been looking at the Beijing Minecraft project. It looks super interesting and different. Yeah, my main problem there is that I don't know enough about the cultural context of some of that stuff. And it needs a lot of research for me to not build something that would be either, like, inappropriate or, you know, I'm just getting a lot of the aspects of it wrong. I do need to read up on a lot of that stuff. But I intend to do that with whatever architectural style I end up going with anyway, so might as well. In the art world, by modern, that's already a past era, so contemporary is the better word. Yeah, like, that's sort of how I feel about it too. Nelmster, thank you for the 13 months. No longer a tween sub, there you go. You're now into the troubling teenage years. You're a translator living in China, so you happen to know a lot about it, which is why you're so interested. Yeah, my one of my cousins lives in China, I believe, and does translation work, so I would ask if I kept in touch with that side of the family, but I haven't spoken to them for a while. Not out of any kind of problems with them, just like we've lost touch, you know? Hey, Wizard, welcome in. Right. Let's head on through to the Nether, take a bit more of a look around. There's a couple of other tunnels here that I do want to outline a little bit. I might use nether bricks for this tunnel that goes just straight through to the nether fortress, so it's a little bit more obvious where this one leads. But hey, a bit more XP for the helmet. I don't have a great deal of nether bricks right now. I could smelt a ton of netherrack, I suppose, but also not sure what I want to do with that. I like the idea of it transitioning slowly from oak wood into crimson wood and from there to nether bricks, but the transition to bricks is going to be really obvious. I also want all of these tunnels to be 3 by 3 instead of 2 by 2, if I can swing it. I was going to say that's almost the helmet fully repaired. It's taking its time because I'm also using a fortune pickaxe with mending on it. Do you think there's a blaze around? The problem with any, like, city project like that is that it takes a while to build up something that looks recognizably like a city. And in that time, I've got to make a bunch of tutorials, and whether or not they are relevant to the city idea kind of factors into how much time I can put into just building stuff in this world, because this isn't really a building-focused series. It could be, but then I'd need to occasionally pepper in tutorials of other kinds so that people didn't get impatient with me just building. Yeah, red nether brick for a transition block, that's not a bad idea. We got exactly 4 stacks of netherrack out of that. That's weirdly serendipitous. Let's smelt some of it. I think this feels like a super smelter batch to me. Why am I not using Elytra? Because I've only just, for tomorrow's episode, built my first mob farm. And right now, obviously, we're going into the nether and stuff, so I don't need to use Elytra as much there because I'm not flying around in my nether hub. But over here, just off the coast, spoilers for the episode that's coming out tomorrow, you can kind of see the very temporary AFK platform up there. I can't really see it from down here. I still have to get over this side. Walk around all these trees so I'm not breaking leaves constantly. We have a very familiar shape of mob farm now. One of these guys. But I haven't had a chance to AFK at it because we only just finished it in the video, so. The end build with Zloy was cool. Yeah, the stuff I was building in the end was partly inspired by a Bolivian architect called Freddy Mamani. And his stuff is incredible. Like, just Google that name. I'll put it in the chat. He builds some stuff which is just so colorful and vibrant and sort of Art Deco feeling. The interiors are just as dramatic as the exteriors. And I'm really curious if we can pull off something in that style again, but it's very... Because it's such saturated color, it has to involve blocks like concrete, which is difficult to get a large amount of, or something like, in the end, I was doing stuff with warped wood, and I think the skulk is going to be a really fun thing to pair with that whole block palette, so I'm kind of saving that for now. Freddy Mamani is an amazing name. It's a good name. What do I do when I go on vacation? Do I make a bunch of videos in advance? Sometimes. Sometimes I just tell people I'm taking a week off. It depends. And if we ever get the opportunity to go to the States where my partner's family is from. They're from California. We usually go for like a few weeks at a time. So if I pre-record videos, I'll space them out over a couple of weeks. So it'll be like there's 3 videos one week, there's 2 videos the next week, and then maybe I spend a little bit of time without videos before I get back and can upload some more. Both very Art Deco and very Latin American. I love it. Yeah, no, there's really, really cool build style. I say build style like it's a Minecraft thing. Like in real world terms, it's a really fascinating architectural style. There we go. There's the actual term for it. Throw these in here. And this, weirdly, doesn't fill up with blocks right away. This is my weird, like, timed furnace setup. But it works. They're all getting the same amount of blocks. Why are you now humming Hotel California? I mean, that's for you to know, Ginger. I might as well smelt all this netherrack, because we're going to be getting so much of it in future. I might as well turn it into nether bricks. We've only got regular coal in here so far as well. So I should probably go mining for coal at some stage. Or, you know, do a wither skeleton farm, but we'll at least have enough to do the nether bricks in here for now. It's not like it's a huge amount going into each furnace. Could I turn the lava farm into a super smelter? Yes, I plan to, but it's going to be a blast furnace one, which is only really going to be there for smelting large amounts of metal blocks, ores, maybe ancient debris at some stage in future, but in that case I'm probably not going to be using it a great deal because there's so much blast furnaces can't do, like glass, nether brick, that kind of stuff. A large Walt Disney style castle, new and old with the deep dark blocks. I mean, sure. Gotta wait for those to come out though. Carpet duplication is a fuel for furnaces. I'm not going to get too far into like duplication and exploit stuff until much later in the series. Carpet duping is something that I've never actually done. And the reason for that really, same with rail duping actually, is because with TNT duplication, my justification for it is it's not giving you a block that you can then place, right? It's giving you primed TNT that just explodes immediately and breaks stuff. Whereas carpet duping is pretty powerful. Rail duping I can understand because rails are expensive to craft and after a while they just get kind of tedious to make large amounts of. Always like using a bamboo farm to power your super smelter. True, but then you've got to find like 4 bamboo per object, and honestly, the amount of times I carry fortune when I go caving now, I have tons of coal. It's just making sure I store it all in one place. Did I make a netherite beacon last season? I did. Not planning on doing that, like the full beacon again. We'll do like maybe a tier 1 netherite beacon or something, but I want to get some netherite blocks to use them for other stuff. For like building with sometime maybe. What's a good transition to Crimson Wood from Oak? Don't start using the furnace until it's completely full. It's relatively easy not to run out of bamboo. Yeah, I see that. Like, do we go... I feel like we go oak, then we go jungle. It kind of goes this way. I don't know if acacia really feels like a good go-between there. This is another place where mangrove might work out quite well. See, it feels like it takes a curveball But then 3 just feels a little bit too sudden, you know? Can you not make those in a... Oh, weird. I just didn't have the crafting recipe for them. That's odd. Cassius with the 12 months. Everyone spam the word nerd in the chats. Thank you so much for 12 months of support. Enjoy your brand new nerd sub badge. Welcome to the Nerd Herd. It has no blue in the color to transition to crimson. Yeah. It's not bad when you look at all 5 of them in a row, though. I'm curious. If we remove that and we just have these side by side. Ow. Hang on. Give me a moment. Even that's not too bad. I sort of feel like it should come out of... It should come out as red nether brick on the other side of that. But I almost think acacia isn't that bad now. I quite like that as a transition. I don't know. Need cherry wood in the game? All kinds of wood in the game. Problem right now is I don't have enough nether wart. I don't have a farm for it, really. That could be something we'll tackle soon. Granite instead of the acacia. I don't really want to go into stone types, though, weirdly. Because it looks like it's going from organized planks, through to, like, a natural stone type, and then back to organized bricks. Like, I'm not just doing this for a gradient, because these are going to be close-up tunnels that we'll actually be walking through, and I feel like the transition would be too obvious. I don't know. Oh, hi. Somehow that still hit me. Whoa, and that guy did. That guy spawned in me. What on earth? Sorry if it's a little dark in here. I probably won't be here for too long. Just need to find... I don't really remember where the entrance to the fortress is. Like the interior. Is it back here? Oh, it is back here. See that lava well. What's the best level to mine for coal? Go into mountains and go as high as you can. Coal generates a lot more frequently higher up in the world now. If you don't have any mountains near you, then honestly, like, just as high up in the cave layer as you can. Still works quite well. Do I have any more staircases down here that will have nether wart at the bottom of them? I don't think I do. This fortress is relatively small, or it feels that way at least. Yeah, this staircase is all closed off. I don't think I ever took the gold out of this. I was mostly just looking for more unique loot, I think, at that stage. Ice roads spawn proof. They are if you make them out of regular ice. If you make them out of blue ice, which is preferable for speed, then the... Oh, there's another one. Then the best way to deal with that is to put buttons on all the blue ice blocks. Because that won't cause any collision for the boat, but it will be spawn proof. And typically you space the blocks like 1 block apart, and you only need 1 central row of blocks to carry the whole thing. So it's actually possible to make a fairly what's the words? Not that way. Blue ice generates light. It doesn't in Java Edition. It does in Bedrock, but not Java. Does Ice Slip go through trapdoors and soul sand like slowness does? It does for the player. Like soul sand slowness does. Yeah, it does for the player, but it doesn't for boats. So the boats will still be, like, affected by the hitbox of the trapdoor or whatever. Like, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But also, buttons are less expensive. Maybe they don't look as good. So many piglins, dude. Like, I don't even mind them because they're not hostile. They just get in the way. Why is my music just completely shut off, by the way? It's like Pretzel just did its own outro. Hello? Weird, it's just not even playing now. Alright, I'm going to close that and I'm going to put the Minecraft soundtrack on instead. I am still live, right? I'm not just, like, disconnected from the internet or something. Weird. Can I add all of these to the playlists? Yes, there we go. We'll put this on in the background. This is the Caves and Cliffs soundtrack by Lena Rain and Kumi Tanioka. And I like it a lot. You might be familiar with this track. Caves and Cliffs music is such a vibe. It's so different from some of the other Minecraft soundtrack stuff in that I feel like it's still got a sense of like space and melancholy to it that seems appropriate for Minecraft, but it's also way more optimistic sounding for me. See, I don't know if I even like that actually. But then if it's still going to open out into the Crimson Forest, then that color is perfect for Nether wart blocks, right? Where are they? I put them in here somewhere. Maybe I didn't. I do have some nether bricks at least. But yeah, it's the color of all of the kind of crimson foliage. It's like so super bright. So I don't know. Am I going to use logs? No, slabs. Because the idea here is that we're making a spawn-proof path. I assume this is done, right? Yeah. I mean, say what you like about this super smelter, it divides the items up pretty well. Regular bricks as a transition. I feel like regular bricks don't quite fit. We'll try it, but... because you got the crimson wood in the way already. Do I have regular bricks up in here? I don't. I'm sure I have some blocks of them somewhere, and if not, I can craft some, but... I'm just going to keep throwing that arrow down and picking it up in various other situations. Would dark oak go well with the nether brick? I don't think it has enough red in it. We can try it. Getting the minecarts to evenly distribute items can be annoying. I think the trick to it really is just not having 16 furnaces in your super smelter. What are we here for? Bricks. I'm looking at the wrong place now. I have to smelt a few clay balls. Yeah, I've got all of the terracotta and stuff, but we're not going to do that in the super smelter because it's one stack of bricks. We'll put them in here instead. Throw that out. Why do I not use my elytra? In tomorrow's video, we're going to be making a mob farm for the first time, and the reason for that is because I have not had enough gunpowder. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work out quite right. I also think they're just adding too many materials in at this stage. Because it feels weird to me if it goes from wood to brick, back to wood, and then back to brick after that. So, like, it feels weird having... Hello? Why can I not click on that block? Thank you. Feels weird having that stuff in there alongside these. And then going down here to these other brick types, which, yeah, no, nether brick definitely doesn't fit in between those two. It just feels odd being like wood, wood, brick, and then maybe another brick. Like, it works well in combination with those two wood types, but I think throwing it in here as part of the transition from material to material in my nether hub just doesn't quite work for me. So we tried it. Brick feels out of place? Yeah. Throw that in there for now. And we'll keep some of the nether brick. I've had such a weird eclectic mix of stuff in this storage system, but whatever. And we'll break some of this down into acacia planks. Easier to find warm than cool pallets in Minecraft. That's changing a little bit. I think the skulk is going to be a good addition to those. But yeah, like having... I think in terms of material availability, cool pallets are harder, because it's stuff like warped wood, which is, you know, a difficult nether biome to find. You've got things like prismarine. Obviously you have grey, and grey is a good neutral, but I feel like prismarine obviously requires such a big farm setup for it, and there's so many other bits and pieces that can feel overwhelming. Crimson slabs, we need jungle slabs, and then we can stick these occasional planks of wood back in their respective storage barrels for the moment. Got those in there, got crimson wood in there, we've got a few more slabs waiting for us. We'll bring the oak slabs with us. Yeah. Sorry if the music gets a little loud in points here and there. Usually when I add this music to my videos, I tend to fade it slightly when it gets into some of the middle sections, because the music always starts quiet and then builds. Which is great if you're just casually playing Minecraft, but when you're doing commentary at the same time, it sometimes makes it difficult to just kind of keep talking over the music. Like I have to start like feeling like I'm shouting after a while, and the music is never playing when I'm recording my commentary, so we'll go into a bit of jungle wood as it merges in here. We'll get one there, and it's all going to stay at this height, so I dug out that tunnel a little bit too high, but See, it's so subtle in the Nether, especially with the rest of the netherrack around, you hardly notice it at first. We'll put one more there, and it can start to transition out. That's pretty well balanced, I think. Actually, I'm thinking maybe we put this one here instead. Like that. Make it less centered. The middle of this thing needs to be the strongest part. We'll keep an ear out for lava, but I don't hear any right now, so that's okay. Favorite wood? It changes all the time. Like, I've been building with a lot of dark oak lately. Spruce has historically been my favorite for quite a long time. I don't know, though. There's a variety of woods, and I think they all have their place. Like every block in Minecraft, really. I don't know if I can really call favorites anymore, because there are so many things that I just enjoy in the right context, you know? Piglin's gonna get mad at me for using barrels again. There's a Piglin-Hoglin fight over there, and the Hoglin is winning. Well played, sir. Now die. Alright. Can't hear lava, the music is too loud? Yeah, same. The transition is way less subtle with the acacia, but I don't mind it. I need to get better at using acacia wood just in general. It's like, I feel like it's a block type I tend to ignore fairly frequently. But I do like that transition. Would red sandstone blend well? Again, it's about material texture as well as it is about color. I also don't have a great deal of red sand, and I don't want to go looking for red sandstone because it's so expensive. Hello? Did I create a ghost block there, or did the game visuals just have a moment? Oh, hi. Alright, didn't shoot either of those skeletons. Skeleton crew. Hello? Thank you. No skull. Acacia is hard to use because it's just so orange, yeah. Again, that's one of those things that, like, with the right texture pack, you could just use acacia wood for any other type of wood you feel like is missing from Minecraft. This acacia stretch is going to be quite long compared to the jungle wood, so I feel like we should probably move these up a little bit. Yeah. I really like the pattern that we ended up settling on for this, so I'm going to try my best to move that down a bit. Is it there? Yeah, it's there. Sometimes I just get that pattern right first time and I'm like, I have to keep doing it that way. I'm filling in acacia blocks when I really shouldn't be. It's really got to be like this. One over here instead. Like that. Yeah, it's a bit of a longer stretch that way. Feels like the jungle wood continues before it hits the acacia and it doesn't immediately cause problems. There we go. Just make it a disco floor all the way. Will the new mangrove biome replace the swamp? No, I don't think so. Not as far as I'm aware. If it does, they've got a lot more work to do from what I've seen in the preview images. I really hope... One of the things that I thought the screenshot they shared the other day was really missing was, like, flowers and stuff. Like, we know the swamp so well for its blue orchids and stuff. I just didn't see any flowers in the test footage they had. There are the mangrove saplings, the propagules or whatever they're called. But we didn't see a great deal of flowers or anything like that. The frogs ate all the flowers. They probably did. They eat everything, including goats. We'll put one of these here, maybe one there, and then that's... Completes our transition to Crimson. And this contrast is wild, but I actually kind of like it. Well, thanks, LA. I've chosen my moderators very well. If you want to thank Ginger in person, then Ginger also streams. You can find her streaming here on Twitch. Playing on various Minecraft servers. I think I'll probably put that back for now. It's in a slightly different place to where it was before. Then we'll give ourselves a sniping point for wither skeletons, maybe. Do I have the gamma filter activated? I don't believe so. Nope. This is with it activated, this is with it off. But I'm planning on lighting this place up, so it's going to feel a little bit more... a little bit more warm at that point. Bahan Surfer, thank you so much for the 3 months. Only asked since it was so dark. Yeah, it gets that way. I feel like the problem is we're going back and forth between the Nether and the Overworld a lot right now. I don't really have much left. Okay, well, we'll throw this in here then. Not the oak, the netherrack. There we go. And I'll put some of this storage stuff away that I was working with before. I've still got, like, books and junk on me, you know? Then throw these in there for now. We'll go and cut down some of the crimson trees that are at the end of there to make the transition out towards the Nether Fortress a little clearer. I think using soul lanterns would be a great contrast to the red and pink. I'm probably not going to introduce too much blue into this. We'll see what it ends up looking like, but I think for now the blue is going to be too high contrast. Obviously it leads to you know, a slightly dimmer light if you use soul lanterns, which I'm not opposed to. Have I beat the dragon in this world? Yeah, we did that episode 50 of the series, which was now, I guess, 9 episodes ago. Yeah, I need to go and top my water up again in a second, but... we'll be live for about another hour. Shroom lights might be another good option for over here, since we're still in the Crimson Forest. The only problem with opening this area out a little bit is occasionally getting yeeted by the hoglins. But hoglins aside, definitely enjoy having clear sight lines and seeing where I'm going. And I'm still going to keep a lot of the Crimson Forestry stuff around here because, honestly, there needs to be access to the open nether at some place in this nether hub. Whether we end up, like, setting up some kind of barrier to prevent other mobs from walking in here, like, even as simple as, like, you know, a set of rails across the front of a tunnel or something can be enough. I think, we still need to have some spaces at which we can go out into the nether and explore from there, because there'll be times we need to make other tunnels. Crimson slabs, there we go. And now I don't have enough space for the netherrack. Throw out the weeping vines. Don't need those right now. Weepy vines. Yeah, this path out to the desert biome needs to change at some stage. Where does this tunnel lead to? Just the nether fortress. Or at least to the blaze spawner part of the nether fortress, which is probably the most important part right now. Of all of the stuff I'm going to use this nether fortress for, the blaze spawner is probably the most important aspect. Like, I'm not going to make it into a wither skeleton farm when it's this close to my base. And there are also better biomes in which to do the wither skeleton farm, namely things like a soul sand valley. It starts to creep in. Almost took a pickaxe to this guy's face. That's nice, though. I do like the transition. I think we need one more nether brick block sort of further out here. Maybe one there. It works. And I think we will go with shroom lights. Maybe for this section. Maybe for the next section we do transition to something different. I don't know. And this, folks, is why I need mending and unbreaking on my shield now. Like, do we put something in here that is reminiscent of Nether Fortress to remind us where we're going? I think obviously recessed anyway, like... like back here instead. With some sort of block around it. Maybe. Yeah, there's potential. I need to get a stone cutter and do variants of some of these. Just don't want to craft like 6 walls. I need to have it not work out. This guy's mad. They don't like the portals, though. I'm not planning anything yet, that's the thing. Like, I don't really have a draft of any of this. I'm just kind of freestyling some ideas right now. So none of this is final, none of this is, like, what I intend to do. I'm just trying to figure a few things out on the fly. See if we get any sparks of inspiration here on stream. Nothing is going to feel finished. It's all a work in progress. We're going to kind of hop from project to project here on streams typically. What do the redemptions do? Redeem one and find out. Next question. See, I'm now at the stage where I want to save some of my amethyst shards for stuff like tinted glass instead of for crafting amethyst blocks.
Just prime.
So if you folks wouldn't mind, I might just go caving for a bit, see if we can find a geode. Maybe even a larger geode than the one I've just found. And we'll just take a bunch of amethyst blocks from that and see if we can find some that would make a more effective farm. Maybe we could even do that around the Dripstone Cave base, since we're going to be there so often. But right now, down here, my amethyst farm has, I think it's like 13 blocks of budding amethyst. Why is this just looping one track, by the way? That's not what I asked it to do. Weird. I do like this song, so it's fine, but yeah, this grows okay, but it's also like there's only 13 blocks in this. I've seen geodes with a lot more. There's a bunch of stuff underneath that Dripstone Cave that I haven't been to explore yet, and I kind of want to see what's up. At least I'm not getting mobbed by creepers every time I come up here anymore. I'll sleep here for the moment. Alright, we'll do that when I come back from the break. We're just going to take a very short break while I run to the bathroom. In the meantime, enjoy the soothing sounds of the Minecraft soundtrack. I'll be back in a moment. Hello. I'm back. So that can go away now. Casper, thank you for gifting that sub. Curly Wild Hair with the 2 months. Thank you very much. Hi. Swim over to drop this amethyst off and let's go caving. The Concorp shirt, yeah. It's comfortable. No creeper sandboard yet? No. No, idling with that idea, but it's the kind of thing that would only make for a good joke a couple of times. There we go. Yeah, we need to add that spider spawner to the Nether Hub network, I think, soon. Let's throw this in here. And I guess we'll go through the Nether to get back to the Dripstone Cave. And then I'll probably put my gamma filter on because I'll know... Oh, wait a second. Wrong way. I know that that's not going to be going back and forth between the Nether and the overworld for a while. Excuse me. Coming through, coming through. So many hoglins, man. Thinking of doing gradients in Minecraft with the whites, but you don't know how. You got a few options. I mean, most of it is going to end up being towards the grayscale kind of vibe. Think about how diorite transitions into stuff like calcite, and they go from calcite to stuff like smooth quartz. It's difficult though because a lot of the white stuff in Minecraft has undertones of other colors, right? Like I've done a bit with calcite and diorite here, but then that transitions straight into smooth basalt, so you've got to get a lot of greys and neutrals involved. A lot to think about. I have so much junk in here that I need to find spaces for. I should take all of my shulker boxes back to my storage and just drop them all off. That's where all my coal is as well. Okay, anyway, we're looking for amethyst stuff. This stuff, really. Yeah, I do really like this portal. This is one of my favorite things that we built so far in this series. The dripstone farm is still dripping over here. Respect it. Turn this down a touch more, 30%. 29%, sure, why not? We can take the gold helmet off now. Swap that with this. And then 7, yeah, there we go. Slowly getting faster with that. We'll put this hoe in here as well. We'll bring the torches. We'll probably grab a bit of coal as we go for some more torches, because we're going to need them. The lava farm is looking pretty active, which is good to see. I wonder if any of the dripstone in this cave, and it's difficult to tell which ones, but I wonder if any of it is incidentally actually actively using the dripstone mechanics. Like if any of the dripstone around here is actually directly under a water source and is growing. I haven't seen anything that's dripping that persistently, but you never know. It could be. Alright, bit brighter for you folks. Hope that works out. I'll probably forget to disable it before the next stream and everyone's going to yell at me for the footage being so bright. I also don't have a bucket of water. I need a bucket of water. Must have just put one away somewhere. Probably when I was working on the mob farm, if I had to put a guess on that. So many vines overgrowing in this place now. I like that a lot, actually. Amusingly enough, this track is called Infinite Amethyst. Which is sort of what I'm looking for right now, ideally. Yeah, I know you're a skeleton. Shut up. Go away. How old is this world? Started when 118 came out. Alright, well I have a couple of iron ingots in here, so we'll just make a fresh bucket. Always end up using buckets for stuff. It's another reason to build an iron farm, really. Yikes! There we go. Didn't break the surface of the water this time. Yeah, I really like the new Minecraft tracks. I think Lenarain's style of composition has a lot more kind of hopeful vibes to it than C418 stuff does. I've been using them a lot in my videos because I want there to feel like there's more of an upbeat tone to this series. Whereas all of the C418 tracks all sound so melancholy, which is part of Minecraft's vibe a lot of the time, but it doesn't always fit with the tone of the videos I want to make. Whereas the Lenarain stuff never lets me down. Nailed it. Well, we didn't find any coal on the way down there. We just kind of made a beeline for this part of the cave, but there might even be some geodes around here that we've missed. This feels like it's expanded since I was last here. I need to keep this lava in check. But this is the underneath of the Dripstone Cave. There's an abandoned mine shaft down here, and those always end up leading to geodes. So that might be a good place to start. We've got a creeper down here. Worth searching these alcoves from time to time. We'll take the gunpowder as well, I guess. Not that we'll be needing it for much longer from the occasional creepers down here. Does that wall feel really flat to you, like it just got cut off by something else? Big old place, this. Do we have any spawners or anything down here? Spawners are more likely under Y0 in this update, so... Whereas they were completely unlikely in the previous updates, because nothing was below Y0 except the void. So I am curious about what is around this place. There's supposed to be that low you found one at like Y60. I mean, yeah, below 0 they will typically generate more frequently, but only slightly more frequently. They're not meant to be like all over the place. And yeah, you're going to find them at all heights of the world below sea level. It's just the dungeon count has been increased for the deep slate layers. Hasn't been reduced for the previous ones. I am very curious to know why everybody is interested in their follow age. I've noticed like an uptick in that lately, and I'm wondering who's... You know, which popular streamer has popularized the practice of checking for that. If you remember correctly, there was a geode in this abandoned mine shaft. Have we been to this abandoned mine shaft, though? Also, thanks for that skeleton for shooting the creeper to let me know a creeper was there, because I had no idea. Music disc? Not quite. Creeper tennis. I'm quite tempted to set up a custom command for people who come in and just type follow age that's like, I don't know how long you'd be following. It just says that for everybody. Will I get the achievement for falling on pointed dripstone and dying? I don't think there is one. They don't tend to put any achievements that involve dying into the game because hardcore players can't get them. Curious. There is one, someone did it on a vanilla server. Well, that server probably had a custom data pack that added a bunch of advancements. Because, what would it be, an adventure? Die on some dripstone? Hardcore players can get them, but only once? Yeah. Let's very quickly go to the Minecraft wiki and fact check this. Advancements. Control F. Dripstone. Dripstone appears once on this, and it is in the Adventuring Time advancement for finding a Dripstone Caves. No data packs, it was Cubfan server. Probably has a custom advancement pack. Because, yeah, that is not an advancement that occurs in vanilla Minecraft. There's one up there. Weird place for a geode. Pretty cool place for a geode, though. Look at this. Look at this. Imagine going back a couple of years and telling yourself that this was what Minecraft would look like. Like, I'm still genuinely floored by what they've been able to do with terrain generation in this update. Like, it's next level. That I'm standing, what am I like? Yeah, negative 30 in the world, looking upwards. What must be like 80 blocks. And it's the roof of a cave above me. That's just nuts. Got a few extra torches, which I won't mind. I'll take the golden apple as well. Don't really care about the other stuff. Don't need all these arrows. Alright, cave spider spawner. Let's tango. And by tango, I mean let's impulse. Two can play at that game. These freaking guys, man. I'm not going for that geode in the ceiling right now because it's too high up. And it's gonna kill me if I fall from that height. So I'd rather not. Hey, a self-lighting cave spider spawner. I can always get behind those. Don't have enough iron for shears, otherwise I'd take all the cobwebs with me. Does this just end here? I guess so. Bit of redstone. So cool. I also find it really funny when you have pointed dripstone holding up gravel. I've noticed that a couple of times in the ceiling. I break a piece of pointed dripstone and then gravel drops from above it, and I was like, both of these things are affected by gravity. You just have to break one. Such a funny, like, coincidence of physics that allows a gravity-defying block to be held up by something that is hanging from below it. You know? It's like, what? What even is physics in this game, though? Lanterns and gravel, same thing. Yeah, except lanterns don't tend to generate naturally, so it's kind of difficult to reproduce that yourself. Because lanterns have to be placed on a block, right? Although I guess if you put them on a block and then you put the gravel block above and then you break the block that the lantern is sat on, does that work? Like those IRL tables that are held up by a weight hanging from them, yeah. It's like physics experiments. Yeah, still blown away every time I look at a new angle of this cave. Ow. Not a cave spider, so you're fine. Great cave! It sure is. Emmy Snook, thank you so much for the 3 months. This is sounding mob spawnery. Is it down? Is it up? Is it just active cave? Just persistent zombie noise, but not... Oh, hi. Does anyone else feel like one of my videos is ending right now? I have the urge to click away. No, don't click away. Watch another one of my videos. I am desperate YouTuber. I must shill for views. Alright, now we're back to roughly where we started. Every moment I'm in this cave, I'm worried I'm just going to have a creeper drop on me from a great height. Explode before he hits the ground. Oh! Blue shiny rocks! Everybody queue up your "you forgot the diamonds" comment now. New deep dark mobs, what are my thoughts? I mean, there's only one, he's called the Warden, I like him. I think he's very scary and good. Wouldn't it be cool if that killed something under there? Just the incidental dripstone hit takes out a zombie or something. I'm sure that's going to happen to somebody at some stage. It's going to be great when it does. Hello. Enjoying your dripstone disco room? Curious. Leads off in this direction. We have 4 torches remaining. The dripstone blocking sections of the mineshaft is novel. Need a lot more of this stuff in general, so we can just take it from these places, we won't miss it. Might also start collecting the rails. It's very neat. Hi. Was wondering when you'd show up. Thanks for the gunpowder. Hup. Could see that ending badly. Where are you? There's a zombie around here I just can't seem to find. Then again, there's zombies everywhere down here, so I shouldn't really be surprised. Would I ever revisit the Bedrock Advancements Guide? Only if there are some achievements significant enough for me to do so, and honestly, it'd be kind of a pain because it would mean probably starting a whole new account so that I could collect the initial achievements again. Oh, there you are. I was wondering. Just one. Oh no, 2. Always worth checking. And then filling this back in because it's regular deep slate. Alright. So it looks like there isn't a geode attached to the mine shaft. There is still one up there. Hello? Where is that? Oh, he's down there. This guy, king of the geode up there. It's like a average sort of size geode, I think. Yeah, we'll see what we can do with that. Maybe later. I need to get more torches if I am to continue down here. I think one of the most fatal mistakes people fall into when they literally fall into one of these caves, so they don't bring enough torches with them. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Can I explain curses? Yeah, they're bad. You don't want them. That's basically it. Just avoid them as much as possible. I bring 4 stacks of torches, I totally run out? Yeah. That's... In this case, a stack and a bit of torches was not nearly enough. And I'm not planning on lighting up the entire thing, you know, I just want to be able to see. And maybe mitigate a little bit of the more troubling mob spawns. But man, it's just real dark down here most of the time. Can you tell I've done this route a couple of times? There we go. We're back. Back at the base cave. Shulker full of torches is not a bad idea. Weird to me that it's something we actually need, but I'm inclined to believe you there. Should just light my way with lava now that I've got an infinite farm of it, right? Just set fire to that abandoned mine shaft so we can see. Alright, give me 2 seconds to blow my nose here. My nose is kind of running now. Imagine if climbing worked like that IRL, does it not? Haven't really been climbing for a while. Do you not swim up waterfalls? Like you've got the Zora suit? Aha! Some coal, which I will now silk touch. Now I can make more torches! We get to see the coal that I am mining. Of which there is quite a lot, because... yeah, wow. It occurs to me that now we have Elytra, and now I have a mob farm, we can do a lot more episodes where I just, like, go to a mountain biome, steal all of the resources, and run away into the night, declaring myself the winner. You'll never know that was there.
Well, that's just prime.
It sure is. Acid Blade, thank you for that brand new Prime sub to the channel. Enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome to the Pixels. Yeah, let's take some of this stuff. Take these two back to the storage. Can I pop that next time I need coal and be very confused? Probably. Actually, I don't think I'll be confused. I think I'll remember this moment. And be like, oh yeah. Kind of debated myself there, didn't I? No hoglins this time. Also no piglins because I realized I'm not wearing my gold helmet. Ignore me! Oh, he did it. Well done. Always carry a stack of logs and coal blocks with you now. Yeah, I don't have the luxury of doing that right now because I've used all my coal to smelt things. But yeah, torches and stuff like that are so scarce, it feels like now. I mean, or not scarce themselves, but they are so easily used now. And luckily it rains right as the sun is going down. Yeah, that piglin's going to shoot me as soon as I come through the portal. Joke's on him, I'll just kill him. He hasn't really thought this relationship through. This chest is going to be very full soon.
Well, that's just prime.
All the rest of this, except for the classic deep slate, can go back into the system here. Like, I guess we can just put it here, right? Yeah, watch it all filter down. When is 1.18.2 coming out? When they're done bug fixing. I don't know when that will be. Let's keep 2 of each of these. Yeah. What type of mob farm did I build? Multiple platforms, water flushing, that kind of stuff. Give me 2 seconds again. I'm not sure who to attribute this design to because I don't know for certain who made it. You know, it's one of those ones that just like everybody makes now without really acknowledging its origins, which is a problem, but not a problem I know how to solve. I think it's probably Nembon because most things are. Nembon or El Mango, probably. Yeah, see, I've been looking for all of these, like, azalea leaves so that I can turn them into decorations for the Nether Hub. And so I'm just going to stuff them all into this oak barrel for now, which will encourage me to use them. I guess I could also put them above the moss chest as, like, moss substitutes. I've got rooted dirt in there already. Moss products. Nembon did it in Fun Farms episode 15. Where are we going to put the diamond ore? I think probably just in the chest with the rest of this, right? Yeah, there it is. A chest of us for the rest of us. Fortune. Actually have cobbled deep slate now. There we go. Where do I take my streaming music from? This is all the newer additions to the Minecraft soundtrack by Lenarain and Kumi Tanioka. The other stuff I get is all from Pretzel, but right now I'm playing it through VLC Media Player because Pretzel just stopped playing music halfway through my stream for some reason. Two stacks of torches. Well, 3 stacks now if you count what I already had. Looking a little bit nicer. We'll put the rails away down here as well. Finding rails so useful to keep hold of. Where did I have? Yeah, I've got some in here. Good. Put dripstone in there for now. There's a lot more to Minecraft than what can be put in YouTube videos. The best way to learn is just to explore. Yeah, absolutely. There's so much stuff you can do in this game. Alright, let's go for a bit of a fly around. I'll show everybody once again, this is the mob farm that we finished up here on stream. This is going to be the subject of tomorrow's video. First mob farm we'll have built in the series that wasn't spawner powered. As you can see, it works pretty well, even though I'm flying relatively low in the world. If we're up there, spawns mobs pretty much constantly. It's as low to sea level as I was going to allow for it to be without, you know... I needed to leave room for an item sorter down here so that we could split all of the drops up, which we'll do later. It's amazing how small the world feels when you're flying. Like, that spruce forest over there took me so long to find. Like, it took me ages to find spruce wood at the beginning of this world, and yet here it all is, just, you know, seconds away from my my base now. Yeah, let's turn the gamma down. There we go. Just gently come to a landing in this field. There we go. Absolutely amazing how small the world feels. Am I going to do a minecart system between nether portals? I'm considering it, yeah. Like, it's really not necessary because, man, you end up with... Oh, hello. What? Is this a double geode? This can't possibly be just one. This is, like, distended and weird looking. Yeah, it's got this, like, micro geode coming off the corner. That's weird. Okay, either that or what on earth? I have no idea. No idea. That's already way more budding amethyst than my local geode has, though. Dang, okay. Well, let's take some of the blocks, because we said we were looking for these in the first place. Let's play along with the music that we're listening to. I love the amethyst sound. Yeah, the minecart system for the Nether hub might come along later, but honestly, I find that there are so many faster, more convenient methods of transport now, and my kind of one holdout with minecarts, the one problem I have that I don't end up using them for transport, for player transport more, is that they take so much setup, you know? Like, it's not like you can just put down a minecart and place rails in front of you and it keeps going. Like, it requires so much work to put together a minecart rail that's going to take you to and from a location that you've got to make sure that you want to use it often, otherwise it's almost not worth the trouble of putting it together. The only real benefit it has is that you can put yourself in a minecart and just go, and you don't need to touch the keyboard at all. So if it's something that's like a 4 or 5 minute minecart ride away, then you can just go and put the kettle on or something, but... Yeah, like in Wallace and Gromit is exactly what I'm thinking of when I'm imagining, like, putting rails down in front of you as you go. You can't do that. So that's why I don't tend to use minecarts for player transport more often. It's just the amount of setup they take. And if you want to make them more effective, then you have to put in 3 times the amount of setup, because then you're making a piston bolt at that point, you know? I feel like minecarts have just become second fiddle to most other things in terms of player transport, and the only thing they're really good for now is moving items around. And mobs, obviously, but that's because you can't really control mob AI. Minecarts are better for custom maps in adventure mode and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, because you're not going to give a player in adventure mode a Lytra. That whole area, such a waste. You look at the amount of overlap between these budding amethyst blocks, and you're like, wow, that's a lot of budding amethyst, until you realize that this section here, you could be getting 3 crystals, you're only getting 1. Whereas it could be all over this wall, you know what I mean? Like, if we could just space those out and put them a couple of blocks apart. But since, of course, we can't move budding amethyst blocks, that's not an option for us as a survival player. Which I don't mind, personally. Like, I think it's fun that the game creates situations like that where we have to cope with the limitations of the way something has naturally generated. But I can't help but be frustrated by it. The other thing that frustrates me is my habit of always taking down the bottom half of the geode and then realizing that I need to get stuff out of the ceiling as well. Inevitably, in a second, a skeleton is going to walk in and shoot me down off the scaffold. I don't honestly need to be that precious about the budding amethyst here, because I doubt I'll come back to this geode again. It's not really in any kind of convenient place for me. It's just like, I don't know, force of habit at this point. I can't break the buds. It's just... It's like breaking a spawner every time. It's not in my nature. I would end up breaking some of these just because I think this is such an annoying cluster situation that I feel like you might actually be improving your chances of getting some of them generating by breaking one. Yeah, I thought so. If calcite were to have a crafting recipe, I think maybe bone and diorite would be a cool idea. I still think it needs amethyst shards
That's just
to be part of the recipe, because calcite is meant to be sort of slightly crystalline in the first place. The texture gives it that kind of crystalline appearance, and it gates calcite behind the discovery of a geode, which I get is not the only place that you discover calcite now. You can get it in mountain biomes, but I do think if it's going to have a renewable recipe, it makes the most sense for it to be linked to the place where it was initially added to the game and where you can find some interesting resources. Gives more value to geodes that way as well. The only problem then is people are already using their amethyst shards to craft tons of tinted glass, so are they going to be interested in crafting it into more calcite? Probably. People like calcite a lot, but I think if it gets slabs and stairs at some stage, it has to be made renewable at that point, because people are going to want it. Yeah, like amethyst shards and diorite or something like that. Be a neat recipe for diorite, actually. The thing is, it's also so different from the crafting recipe for smooth basalt, because that's like, you smelt basalt. Would even take it as a mason trade. Again, I think it needs to be renewable through crafting. That bat did nothing to me. I don't know why I killed it. But yeah, having it be renewable through crafting, I think, makes more sense. Because masons only currently trade blocks which they can craft other stuff out of, right? Like, you trade them the raw ingredients, they trade you back the, like, crafted ingredients. Hope you feel better soon, Proceratops. Glad you're able to get that second jab. Get that from an in-game perspective, but as a geologist it hurts because calcite doesn't have any silicate crystals like amethyst in. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it entirely from the perspective of gating materials behind video game mechanics, but it's the same reason that you don't find coal and diamonds generating next to each other, despite diamonds basically being compressed coal. Like, there's a lot of people pointing out that it doesn't make any sense that coal doesn't generate low enough down in the world, and it's like, yeah, that's because lower down in the world is supposed to be a harder place to go to and return from, and therefore that's where the more valuable minerals are. Like, none of this is to do with real-world geology anymore. There we go. What is this song? This is Hagstrom by C418. This is the music I used to play at the beginning of every Season 1 Minecraft Survival Guide episode. I really like this song. This is the one that feels like the nostalgic Minecraft track to me, you know? This is the one that always used to come on when I was playing Xbox Minecraft. Even though the next track on this album is one that's literally called Minecraft. Shut up. Totally the most Minecraft nostalgia song for you? Yeah. There's a couple on this album in particular, because this is Minecraft Volume Alpha. This is basically all of the music that plays in the overworlds, plus a couple of extra tracks. And this is definitely the ones people have heard the most. And then Volume Beta has all the Nether music and the music discs. Still very curious about what that little, like, nubbin section over there in the corner is. Why this geode is shaped like an egg. Although, it's kind of thick in this one corner. So maybe that's just, like, a couple of extra calcite blocks up in there. Really interested in the way that generated, though. Problem is I don't want to be too precious about it and not break out all of these blocks because I need the blocks, and like I said, I'm hardly likely to come back and rediscover this at any point. Oh, we broke an amethyst bud. F's in the chat, boys. I mean, especially not coming back here now I've broken that. I want to distance myself from that. I don't know how much scaffolding we started with, but inevitably there will be some left floating on one of these blocks. It's hard to deal with the guilt of a broken block. It's funny because, like, with stuff like glass, I always get that, even though glass is perfectly easily renewable. I'm just like, it feels like a waste to break this with anything other than Silk Touch, which is why I didn't really build with glass at all in the series until after we got a Silk Touch pickaxe. Even like an axe or a shovel is fine, you know? Diego, thank you so much for the $3 tip. Yeah, this bit up here is weird. I'm like, what's going on here? Imagine if it was just like a tiny geode with one bud of amethyst in the middle. Doesn't seem to be, though. It just seems to be a bunch of basalt that generated in a weird way. How peculiar. Recently got back into Destiny, might get back into Minecraft now. I've heard Witch Queen is really good. But I haven't played Destiny 2 basically, like, at all. I played a bit of the beta, and at the time my PC wasn't good enough to record it and play, so I just didn't end up playing it in the end. I feel like if I was still into Destiny right now, I might not be able to make 5 Minecraft videos a day. It's been hard enough just getting into the latest Pokemon game and being like, no, I need to stop playing this so I can play the game that I actually make my living playing. Just such a weird concept, and I'm still forever grateful for the opportunities that this has provided me, but man, it's hard when there are other good games, you know? Say 5 videos a day. I may have been exaggerating slightly. Is a hoe ideal for mining beds? No. Not so much. I'm pretty sure an axe is the ideal tool for beds, isn't it? Or do they just not have one? So how many buds does this geode have? It's a lot more than the geode I have at spawn. I don't even need to count these. Obviously that cluster down there is kind of hopeless, but yeah, just that half of it has more blocks than the one I have at spawn. Like this side is basically like, I have 13 blocks in the one at spawn. This geode turned out way bigger. How many usable buds does it have? That's a very different question. Because there's a couple here even that overlap. But I have an overlap of, I think, 3 or 4 in the geo that I have under spawn, so it's hardly optimal anyway. There's one close to my base I haven't found yet that's pretty big. Oh, there's probably some in, like, the deep slate layers and stuff as well. There's probably some further down. The whole reason I went with the one that I did was that it's just close to the surface. I don't have to build, like, a soul sand bubble elevator to get back up from it. I can do it with, like, 3 blocks worth of ladder. But that was really the main reason I did it. So the zombie was bringing me that block I missed, yeah. It's nice when you have zombie butlers occasionally. Zombie butler. Zombie butler, that's you. The other day, I got the little butler theme from Steven Universe stuck in my head, and I was like, why is this here? I haven't watched this show for like 2 years. Zombie Butler is 100% a sitcom. It really is. Adam's Family Lurch. There we go. So excited for the LA. Oh gosh, the LA is going to be fantastic. I've almost forgotten about the LA because of all of the hype for the Warden and everything else, but man, the possibilities. Believe me, if either of the other two had won, I would have forgotten about them as well. Because there's just so much other stuff been going on. Steven Universe is a good show. Has its moments, for sure. When is the LA going to come in the wild update? We don't know for certain. They haven't really started snapshotting the wild update yet, so it's kind of difficult to say. I believe around Minecraft Live they did say it was going to come in 1.19 though, so yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe. They're working on so much other stuff for 1.19 with the Deep Dark and the Warden though. I know Olraf's whole thing was the LA. I'm pretty sure that was an Olraf original. So I am yeah, I'm curious to see if that is what he's been working on for the last little while, but we know that the developers have their own pet projects, and sometimes they collaborate on a bunch of features, so I'm curious. If you ask him on Twitter, he'll just post that one gif of the villager that's like, mayhaps. What day in the week would I recommend visiting Brighton? Any day of the week, really. Like, it's got stuff going on all the time. In the UK in general, Sunday is not the best day to visit anywhere because all the shops close early, but aside from that, praying and sobbing that 1.19 doesn't release the week I'm moving out of country. I mean, it'll still be there when you get back. I know it's exciting and all, but Warden was supposed to be in 1.17, so don't quote anyone on it being in 1.19. Exactly, yeah, like, features like that are always going to take some time if they're more complicated than the team initially envisions. Let's very briefly go and check up on this and see if there's any good drops in here. But I'm probably going to wrap up my stream in just a second so that I can continue making a video about this wonderful device.
Well, that's just right.
We've certainly got some gunpowder in there already, so I'll throw a few extra drops in there from just what we gathered in the caves. I'll be doing an AFK session, just clearing out these chests and, like, not like officially benchmarking it, because I don't think this is the most efficient this farm could be, but it's going to be pretty good, so. You used to live in Lewis and you miss it so much. Do you miss November 5th in particular? Occasionally we hear the fireworks from Lewis, where we live, and it's like cannons going off in the distance. It's disconcerting at times. But, yeah, I live around Brighton Way. Will I play bingo today? Absolutely not. Like, bingo takes me like half an hour to play around, like, minimum. So, no, we're all done here. Sorry, not to, like, shut that down very harsh, but, like, yeah, no, bingo is something I kind of have to plan for. I have to, like, reach the end of my, my kind of schedule of stuff that we were doing. Oh, wow, everyone from Hermitcraft is doing a Twitch Rivals thing. We're not going to raid any of them because they've all got, you know, their own audiences. They're doing their own thing. Who can we raid? ZloyXP is playing some hardcore RL craft. So I'm going to send you folks over to him. I also need to resub to him for, like, my 2-year resub. Zloy is the guy I do the Hermitcraft recap with. So you guys will know him from that. Go say hi from me. Don't forget to use your Pixel Hype emotes in the hashtag PixelRaid. And I hope you guys enjoy Zloy's stream. He is, yeah, he is currently doing stuff in hardcore RL craft, and it looks like there are giant butterflies everywhere which are not killing him presently. So go and check that out. Say hi from me, and I'll be back with you guys on Sunday, because I don't think I have D&D this Sunday unless we're going to reschedule from last weekend that we missed. So I will let you guys know either way. Thank you so much for watching. My name's been PixelRiffs. I'll catch you guys soon. Bye for now.